Elon Musk has infiltrated our government. He is inside of our government. He has access to all of our information. And people are not sounding the alarm enough to the nefariousness of this situation because the tech bros, the broligarchs are about to take over. Look, they have taken over our government. And this is not just, a quirky, awkward man. No, the tech bro billionaires are in charge, and they have these henchmen that are going out and they are basically foot soldiers for these oligarchs. All right, so it's all of the staffers, these aides, have been outed already. Their names, pictures have been plastered, but it's causing people to dig a little bit deeper. One of Elon's Doge boys just resigned after his incredibly racist tweets were discovered. A 25-year-old staffer for Elon Musk DOGE has resigned after the Wall Street Journal reached out to the White House over incredibly racist social media posts linked to him. Musk's astonishingly unqualified group of 20-somethings have been plundering a growing list of government agencies, gaining control over highly sensitive information without the required security clearance, and raising major alarm bells across Washington, D.C. And it's not raising enough alarm bells amongst MAGA and the Republicans, but these people have all of our information. All right, it says, now one of the young men named Marko Elez has officially resigned from his position. Elise was behind a deleted profile that backed a eugenic immigration policy and argued that you could not pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity. In a separate post, a different account closely linked to Elise's online presence argued that 99% of Indians' H-1B visas will be replaced by slightly smarter large language models. They're going back. Don't worry, guys. Just for the record, I was racist before it was cool, the account wrote in a July post reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. It's unclear if the racist post and Elise's resignation are directly linked, but White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt informed the newspaper about the news after the Wall Street Journal inquired about the post. Elise's resignation is surprising, not to mention the first sign that Musk and his operatives may still be beholden to certain social norms. Before the news emerged, DOGE had established itself as an extremely chaotic force blowing through government agencies like a hurricane. They're in there breaking things. They're breaking things. They are breaking down social norms. They're breaking down funding. They are taking over, and they have all of our information. Now, we already know that AI is here, and AI requires information in order to build its systems. They are not just doing read only. They are taking our information. The sudden departure raises questions. Is authoring flagrantly racist posts on social media where Musk draws a line? It would certainly be a double standard, considering Musk has plenty of outright racist utterances himself. All we can do at this point is speculate, but it's certainly a noteworthy departure. Elise has obtained direct access to the entire government's payment system. As Wired reported earlier this week, Elise also gave himself both read and write privileges, allowing him to push untested changes to the payment system. It's an incredibly reckless approach that could open the United States to foreign hacking, as Democratic lawmakers have warned. He was not just reading, he could actually write into all of these systems that he is in. This is the reason why people should be more alarmed about what is going on. The 25-year-old had previously worked at Musk, SpaceX, and X, where he focused on AI, as the Wall Street Journal reports. Doge's other staffers also include interns at his companies and a young man who goes by Big Balls online. So who knows what other juicy details will soon come to light about Musk's other bratty minions. Okay, so that's Futurism. And here is another article from Futurism. Elon's Doge boy who resigned was apparently doing something very naughty with the Treasury's code. Was he caught with his hands in the cookie jar? Doge whistle. One of Elon Musk's lackeys at his Doge group, Marko Elez, unexpectedly resigned on Thursday after the Wall Street Journal revealed a litany of extremely racist social media posts that he apparently made shortly before joining the team. Okay, so we already talked about his racist post. We already talked about the fact that it's not just read only. According to Wired, Elise did in fact have right access, allowing him to push unvetted and untested changes straight to the Treasury payment system, a nightmare scenario that could introduce all sorts of cybersecurity vulnerabilities and leave doors open for adversary hacker groups. In other words, given Musk's well established leniency and penchant for racist ideology, there may be far more to the story than the Wall Street Journal's reporting lets on. Did Elise push code changes to a payment system responsible for a gargantuan $5.54 trillion in 2024? Put simply, it looks like Elon's Doge boy was doing something naughty, and regardless of whether he had permission from Musk, he may have ended up taking the fall for it. And the crazy thing is, Doge is not a real department. Elon Musk is not a politician. These people do not have the clearances. Why are they in our information? Why do they have access to these payment systems? All right, cookie jar. Adding to the ominous signs around Elise's activity and departure, the blog Talking Points Memo reported this week that Elise had made extensive changes to the system before his right access was revoked on February 5th. So he had time to go in there and make changes. People should be sounding the alarm and speaking on this more. In other words, it sounds a lot like White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was either intentionally or unintentionally obfuscating the truth by claiming Elise had read-only permissions. People have been wondering, where is JD Vance? JD Vance is bought and paid for by Peter Thiel. JD Vance is in the broligarchy, but he's also a Theo bro. So this is all a push to push us towards a theocracy and a broligarchy that is bought and paid for. Now, JD Vance is asking that that staffer be brought back. This article says, bring him back. Vance says he supports rehiring Doge staffer who resigned over racist social media posts. JD Vance said Friday that he would support the rehiring of a Doge staff member who resigned after it was found that he had previously made racist remarks online. The staff member, 25-year-old Marko Elez, resigned. We already talked about this resignation. Vance made comments on X, reposting a poll from Doge head Elon Musk asking if the staff member should be brought back. I obviously disagree with some of Eliz's posts, but I don't think stupid social media activity should ruin a kid's life. We shouldn't reward journalists who try to destroy people ever. So I say bring him back. If he's a bad dude or a terrible member of the team, fire him for that. He should be fired, but the crazy thing is, like I said, JD Vance is part of the broligarchy, and a 25-year-old is not a kid. And if Elon Musk has hired this 25-year-old kid, he must be good at what he's doing as far as being inside of computers and doing all of coding and whatever else that they're doing, stealing information, trying to put it into AI and write programs. Now, I already said that JD Vance was bought and sold by the broligarchy. He is a tech bro because he was bought by a tech bro. So this is an article from last July. The billionaire who fueled JD Vance's rapid rise to Trump's VP spot and analysis. Like I said, this is from July. Okay, listen to this. Trump's selection of JD Vance to be his running mate shows one thing remains constant, even in a presidential race upended by an attempt to assassinate one candidate and doubts about whether the other is fit to run. Money in a presidential politics is still king. So this is obviously before Kamala Harris entered into the race. This part right here. Vance, a relative newcomer to national politics, has assiduously courted billionaires and Silicon Valley titans to bankroll his unlikely rise from best-selling memoirs of despair, drugs, and generational poverty in Appalachia to a ticket that could seat him a heartbeat away from the president. He courted billionaires. During his rapid rise, he has emerged as an ardent and effective defender of Trump, putting an intellectual gloss on the former president's raw MAGA populism. But Vance may never have been in serious consideration for the number 2 spot on the ticket had he not won elective office in a major Rust Belt state in the first place. And big donors, particularly from the tech sector, provided the rocket fuel he needed to advance in electoral politics. Vance's most prominent benefactor over the years is Peter Thiel, the iconoclastic tech pioneer and investor. Peter Thiel. Thiel hired Vance at his global investment firm in 2017, then nurtured Vance's political rise, donating $15 million to his 2022 Ohio Senate campaign and helping him win a closely fought GOP primary before going on to capture the seat in the general election. So, are you all seeing how these tech bros have bought their way into this government? It has been in the making for a while now. Now, let's move on to a snippet from this. Peter Thiel and JD Vance, how PayPal founder boosted VP candidate's political career. So let's get into what they are saying because they were talking about this back in July. So this part, when JD Vance first met Peter Thiel in 2011, Vance was a student at Yale Law School and Thiel, a venture capitalist, gave a speech at the university criticizing modern society. And you can see what they're doing right now. They are breaking down our society. And we see that these tech bros, these oligarchs are sitting on piles of money and they are literally squashing everybody that has a dissent. They have been squashing all dissent. There's no government anymore. It's the oligarchs. All right, it says Vance later wrote that he was trying to find his place in a highly competitive atmosphere, and Thiel's speech awoke something in him that made him realize he didn't want to practice. So it is absolutely no surprise that JD Vance is supportive of this hacker coming back into the Doge regime because they know that they have some kind of game plan. It's a nefarious game plan. It's bought and sold by the oligarchs. They know that they are in and they need these young hacker soldiers in there. So there is obviously going to be a lot more information that needs to come out about this situation. All of the stuff that is going on with the executive orders in Trump is a distraction while we watch the oligarchs pilfer, steal our information and all of that. It's all a distraction. Everything that Trump is doing over there is to distract us from these people taking our information right under our noses and taking over these departments. All right, I'm going to continue to look up what's going on and report back. I'm going to talk about what's going on with Trump and the executive orders and all of that. But y'all need to know that that is a distraction from what is really going on, the stealing of our information and probably using it for nefarious, nefarious things. I don't know yet. I don't know what the end game is. So join the conversation. Please spread this information. Don't forget to like, comment. I found this video from TikTok, and I do know and understand that it's just a man speaking on TikTok. But think about it in terms of what I just posted talking about the oligarchs and how they are infiltrating the system and what is going on with everything else. Even if this man is saying something that is a modicum correct and true, it should definitely worry some people. So go ahead and watch this TikTok video. And all of this is going to have to start clicking that they have nefarious intentions for the American people. This is not right. And within 3 weeks, they have come in breaking down government and how many people live, eat, and work. They're taking away people's jobs. They're taking away people's money. Are they trying to make us all desperate? What is going on and what is the end game? Please just think about those questions as you listen to this man and think about what I just shared as far as the tech bro billionaires.
I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to share, but I guess there's only one way to find out. My dog's chewing on the bone if you're wondering what the noise is, but basically I work in the federal government in a office that I'm trying to not give too much away, that like is handling a lot of the executive orders. And the government's like gonna be in shambles, dude. The executive orders are, and the return to office, this is all stuff they don't have a plan for. This is stuff written so poorly, just single-handedly, to thin out personnel and to disrupt the workforce. If everyone's trying to cheer on, like, for example, oh, DEI, oh, it's bad. No, it's not DEI, it's DEIA. But everyone tries to fit a narrative. Do you know what the A stands for? Accessibility. Do you know what one of the repercussions of that executive order is? It is pulling down any document, any web page or anything with any of those 4 words on it. That's a part of it. It's not just like any sort of like external hiring path or anything like that. No. It's literally if a form or document that is open to the public and stuff, or internal, like literal policy manuals, for example, has the words diversity or equity or inclusion or accessibility, those sections have to be pulled down, revised, and can only be put up after manual review and legal review. I'm not even joking. Do you know what has a lot of those words in it? Tax forms. Do you know what's happening in this season? Taxes. That's right. That's not even just that. The back to work stuff, it is single-handedly not because of productivity. No. Productivity shot up when we had telework and remote work. It's actually dropping, and it's a problem. They don't have the physical space for the staff to return to the office. They are trying to force people and reassign people to different field offices. They don't have the space. There was no plan before these executive orders went into effect. I'm watching it. I'm dealing with it. Then on top of that, getting rid of remote work, getting rid of telework and everything like that, they are trying to have people resign so that they can get rid of government positions. And what is the end goal, you might ask? Because they're also firing all of the new hires. Not every single one yet. Anyone that got a job offer, they've already rescinded that. Today was the day that they referred probationary employees, which is like your first, depending on what position you have, it's either your first year in the position or 2 years if you're like an attorney, for an example. They just referred all of those positions of new hires to their lead agency, which is then going to give that data to the OPM, Office of Personnel Management. And they are basically going to decide who is going to get clipped. Maybe nobody, but probably more people, including possibly myself. And what is all this for, you might ask? What is saving all this money for? You want to know what it's for? You want to know what shredding the government is for? It is because our politicians, specifically Trump, Elon Musk, DOGE, but Republicans as a whole, are gearing up to give another round of tax cuts to corporations and the ultra wealthy. And they can't do it on the current proposal because we are now at a point where corporations and the ultra wealthy are paying so little in taxes, and a good portion of them are already paying absolutely nothing in taxes and are instead getting refunds literally out of our pockets. We might as well just say, Amazon, I gotta pay Amazon $1,000 for nothing in return. Literally, that is what's happening right now. It is so egregious that they are trying to not cut the Pentagon, not cut defense spending. They are cutting the literal fabric of our government and social services. Medicaid is on the block. Like, these programs, it's going to be felt throughout the country. It is. It doesn't matter if it's the TSA. We've already seen ridiculous lines. It's because people have been fired. Parks, literally the amount of government, it could be sanitary, like as in like trash collection and stuff. It can be as much as, the DMV, passports, USPS, USPS. And like all of these government things that you don't realize on the day-to-day, our government organizations, they are all going to be affected. This is going to not only directly impact people that work in the federal government, but everybody in the country. You think voting was bad before. Oh my God, dude. And I get mad because this is the flexing of executive power. And yet the last administration, it's frustrating to watch people not do anything when they're in positions of power. And this is a perfect example of what it looks like to flex that power, but for all the wrong reasons and in all the most horrific ways. And that sucks. I hope you enjoyed watching my face change different colors from the TV.